Hey, what guys? It's been a while since my last video. I'm sorry, it's been we forgot and I was distracted doing some things. One thing I was trying to do was getting back to reading JoJolian, which obviously I just finished because I'm reviewing it now. All 110 chapters. Now, forgive me if I get some things wrong or forget things, because oh, I'm terrible remembering. Yeah, this was a great part. I especially caught up so I could get to review JoJo's next time. I also want to review Battle of Visitor as well. Also continue reading the. So yeah, I'm also currently reading part 4. But those being reviews, they use the time recording and why am I still lying on this? Because not it being too good right now. I was sick the other day. Starting to get a bit bad, but still. So anyway, this will kind of be a standalone video in a way. You just get this part if you want to, because I just want it to be standalone for now. Also, my plans for the future is to re-review part 7. Because a lot of things have happened since my last review, since my last JoJo review. We officially got a Steelbook Run anime officially announced. No release date yet, but it's currently in production. So it might be releasing either 2026 or 2027. Although, I'm bloody excited for this. I can't wait to see what they do. Yet. And since we also got the manga coming out in English this year, I'm all for it. Anyway, enough all that stuff. Let's get on to part 8, which was the first part a lot of people were going to start reading as it came out. Of course, I'm viewing a fan translation, so obviously some bit might not be translated well. But most of the ones I view were bad colored, but the last batch of chapters were in black and white. Yeah, it's very inconsistent. So, oh, and also got like my new T-shirt. Got for Easter. Yes, it's that crappy anime Sakamoto days. The manga is bad. Yes, I agree. As you know, I read the manga myself. You know, I had to on the fucking shelves. Anyway, let's get this right. So, we're on part years later. Like over 100 and... Maybe like 100 and... 21 years. Make it, 1890 plus 100 equals 1990. 1990 plus 10 equals 2000. Yeah, 21 years. 121 years after the events of Part 7. Which is longer. This is like like this might be the shortest in chapter count compared to previous parts. But the second to last arc, with the last 2 shorter ones, is the longest arc ever. I'm not joking. It's a pretty long arc. The last 2 chapters are just basically its own little story. So anyway, we open up in Morio, a familiar set of those who are fans of Part 4. And we're introduced to one of our main characters running away from someone who's obsessed with her. One obsessed with his name is Joshu. Who I'm not reading his last name yet. And the girl was her is named Yatsuro Hirose. Yeah, she's really the she's got the same Hirose family exists in this continuity too. She ends up some sort of place called the Wall, where actually before I know being called the Walleyes. She discovers a young boy naked with a sailor hat and a star-shaped birthmark. He has no memories of anything in his past. She tries to help him. Like, discovering his identity might have been Yoshikage as someone named Yoshikage Kira. Eventually, apartment where they eventually attacked by our stand user. A lot of things happened in the first arc. I'm not going over and just gunning it down for detail. So just go read the manga yourself. Or wait for the official English translation to come out once the Steelbook Run manga is especially done publicizing. Who knows when that's going to be, though. We don't even know if the English translation is going to come to the Shonen Jump app or not. I mean, Still Notion did, so most likely that will happen. As it says, I actually will be doing chapter reviews on it. Be a further to do to talk about this manga as it goes on. So if it does do that, if that does happen, I'll be enjoying those videos when they eventually come out. Anyway, after that, revealed. So yeah, obviously this antagonist is a stand user, and the stand is called Soft and Wet, ability to create bubbles. And you also, eventually, the guy ends up getting who Yasuo calls him Josuke. Because, well, there was someone in her life called Josuke as well. As you know, the characters for Josuke, how you spell Josuke in with the Japanese characters, it reads JoJo. So yeah, his full name is JoJo. JoJo Higashikita. From Walpole. Right. So yeah, he has the same name as the Walpole protagonist. Anyway, Josuke is again taken in by the Higashikata family, which the same family that Joshi is a part of. The head of the family is Nosuke Higashikata the fourth, the descendant of Nosuke Higashikata the first, who participated in the Steel Bowman race in 1890. Same race Johnny Joestar and Gyro Zappa participated in. Well, basically, all of these stand users. The first, now the second arc is kind of a little more complicated, confusing a bit, that no one talks about. And it was so basically, the first Higashikata family member to be able to stand is none other than Daya. Obviously named the character Daya from part 1. It was not really that important anyway. Daya Higashikata. Her stand is called California Kimber, which could take memories. Took about for Josuke, but he managed to be her. She seems to really like him. And it seems like Nosuke did not like Josuke either, but it seems to get changed a little bit later. I think it kind of got retconned. I might be wrong though, because it's been a while, and well, anyway. So, it's some more stories. So basically, Kira was gone missing, but eventually they found the body of one Kira's body. But how? It's weird. So who is Josuke? Next big storyline is with the family maid. Her name's Kei Nijimura. She's also a stand user. Her stand's called Born This Way. Which proves Josuke, but eventually she reveals her name isn't Nijimura. Her real name is Kei Kira, Yoshikage Kira's younger sister, daughter of Holly Kira. Yes, Holly married the Kira family in this continuity. And she's quite different from the Holly Kujo we know. She's quite different in personality. Which makes sense, she's a different character this episode from. She just says that like the type of things when you adapt stories and stuff in name only. Some of things like just the name, but nothing related to it. Anything you adapt in. When you loosely base something over a book. Let me think of an example. Yeah, I can't actually think of one. Should be an example, but I can't think of one right now. But yeah, there are times when that happens. Like that type of story in name only. Just gets sound cool. I think like Jurassic Park. I mean, the structure. I'll get off topic. So she disguises. She changed her name to Nichimura as an undercover in the Hishikata family. Oh, thanks a little hot and dire. Josuke ends up breaking into Norisuke's office to read a book that was written by Norisuke the First. Well, chronicling the Steelball run and some things that happened. It chronicles what happened to Johnny Joestar after the events of Part 7. So sometime after that, Johnny ended up marrying a young woman in Arena Higashikata. Yes, Johnny is part of the Higashikata family. That leads to the question, if they all related to the Higashikata family are related to the Joestar family, why don't they have star-shaped birthmarks? Like, that's just something that confuses me a bit. No matter what, if you relate to a Joestar, you have to have the star-shaped birthmark. I'm just saying, it's just kind of weird. Like, it is kind of weird to me. Like, I mean, yeah, generations and stuff, but don't forget, Johnny didn't marry into the Higashikata family. So they technically all Joestar descendants. But conveniently, because Josuke's the protagonist. And Kira is technically related to the Higashikata family in his own right. That's confusing. So my guess is Holly was more like cousins? I don't know the exact situation, I just can't remember. Anyway. He also makes an attempt to visit Holly at the hospital. But ends up and she ends up having this. It ends up being she has a stand too. She's just not aware of it. She's the one who found out Johnny's fate. Johnny dies. Basically, his wife had an illness, so they let him steal the saint's corpse and take it to Japan. Place it in a place where it become the built part where the Higashikata residence will be built. Especially that might be reason why the wall lights exist. The saint's corpse power. The power of the saint's corpse. So yeah. It seemed to work, but eventually starts questioning Johnny's son. And Johnny had to use spin to transfer the disease to him. Then a rock suddenly falls on his head and is killed. Johnny Joestar is dead. Which is kind of sad. When you think about it. You spend 95 chapters, or 94, depends on when he was introduced. Can't remember what chapter. I think he was in chapter 2, I can't remember. Yeah, that's my kind of really weird part. Anyway. So for nearly the entirety run of Steel River, we followed his character, his journey, his growth. Eventually on a spin. He grew as a character. Only see him die, be killed. It's tragic. Rest in peace, Johnny Joestar. You're a legend. So anyway, Star Mystery. It's a bit more episodic territory for a bit. As over time, we're also introduced to Tsurugi Higashikata, the eldest son and of basically the only son of the Jobin Higashikata, we won't see for a bit. He also has a stand called Paper Moon King, and he seems to have a session with Suzuki. Seems to have a session with Yasuo. Paper Moon King can actually mess with you, create some type of illusion, tricks your eyes and stuff. Basically, he's just a young boy, around 9 years old, 9 or 10. Yeah, it's kind of inconsistent. Don't ask. So I'm just gonna assume he's around 9 to 10 years old. Basically, he has a type of curse that only kicks in with the family firstborns of every generation. He guys got the family. Girls takes a while longer. For boys, it happens around 11 years old or so, 10 to 11. They can skin turns rock hard. And well, Josuke knows Inosuke's been trying to figure out a way to save him. To agree. So they end up in type of alliance, and Inosuke basically got the help of Kira. Also, early on during the fight, seems Josuke might be Kira, but with another person in it because he has split eyes. I like to keep that detail every time he appears. He has two separate eye pupils, like a line in the middle of them. So what happened? It's weird. Josuke and Kira's body were found by the wall eyes in the Gashigata residence. So it's pretty interesting. And Inosuke ends up being attacked by a man who was an architect. I can't remember his name. But he was weird. He can turn his skin into rock. He is a stand user, but that's not what his stand does. Inosuke's stand is called Keen Nothing. It can track any scent. It can track any scent. So yeah, they ended up battling him and defeated him. Also, there was another arc called the Shakedown Mill arc, which after that arc completed, when the JoJo game came out, Eyes of Heaven, because that's the story that took place after in the point of time, since part 8 was still ongoing. Basically, it's a whole story arc where actually Joshua ends up making his own stand, not King Cole. And Joshua is a total dick. No one likes him. He's selfish. Josuke. Well, eventually we get to meet Jobin Higashikata. Josuke's a little suspicious of him when he knows Kid Nothing and seems to be tracking the scent of a special flower, the low cacao fruit, I think it's called, that might be able to heal Surugi's illness. Cure Surugi's illness. Jobin has that scent for some reason. So basically, Josuke got planned to interrogate him on a unique weakness. He has questioned Surugi. Surugi doesn't know what his stand is, but knows a way to stop him. He's just about the food and stuff, so because he knows his dad isn't a bad person. With a whole stag bill type of arc. And then you get a glimpse of Jobin's stand, where they call speaking. It can increase heat temperatures. Nothing even in the human body which can kill someone. It's a pretty cool stand. And then Sugi and Yatsuo who eventually fully realizes her stand power. Paisley Park, which is able to track stuff. She can use it. A stand can be used for a phone. Those are the says even track to objects that they might need for balls. It's pretty useful. I mean, end up dealing with another stand user who's also a so-called rock human, which is what we're calling them. This stand Dubiwa, who also is a contributor fruit. We see this fruit has some type of equilibrium exchange. Basically, by training something from your body to heal another part, is the exchange. Basically, it is a risk taker. You exchange one part for another. So, just so, I was next. Let's get that. Or Josuke's managed to reunite with him after that battle. He ends up spoiling a girl who doesn't even come back later in the series. She only appears in like this little arc. I can't remember her name, but she has a stand called Love Love Deluxe. Yes, it's named after Yukiko stand. But it's more of a human-like form compared to Love Love Deluxe, which is just hair. Basically Medusa-like hair. I kinda wish she got to participate in her own stand battles in part 4. But I do like Yukiko. Alright, this is a review on part 8. Hey, everybody's walking over to Joe and have some type of connection. Joe is come attacked by twin stand users. He eventually defeats them. It seemed to me after the girl though, who mistakenly thinks Josuke is someone she knows, acquaintance named Josephumi. As in the final rock, Kima makes himself known as pretending to be Hato's boyfriend. The oldest sibling in the entire Higashikata family. The oldest females. The oldest sister and stuff. We also get flashbacks to a younger Yoshikage Kira. We also learn Holly Kira was a doctor. And Yoshikage Kira was also a doctor, a ship doctor. Where she runs into Josephumi Kujo, whose life he saved all those years ago. Josephumi. So they decided to work together to find this plant. And the months of working together managed to replace a branch. Imagine they found out. Attacked. Basically by Hato's supposed boyfriend. This was like months ago, back in August. Causing a battle to happen. Too much to escape with Kira very badly injured. With Josephumi like not that hurt. Let me see what happens. Decide to use the fruit to heal Kira. That's Josephumi's decision. Kira's stand is basically similar to his part 4 counterpart, Killer Queen. He bombs us up, but has some slight differences in his abilities. Something that regular Kira, part 4 Kira can do. So, work together. How turns out we're using her stand. Working with Josuke. Hato's boyfriend to be, and it's revealed that Josuke is two people, like we thought earlier. Is half Kira, half Kujo. Yes. Basically, most parts of Josephumi was merged into Kira, being part of Kira, and some of Kira's parts were swapped to Josephumi. Basically, and the more fatal injuries were on that body. So basically, that body was Kira, that wasn't technically, kind of. I thought I would have taken this midpoint to like the final arc. But Josuke can never get his old memories back. So yeah, we get a bit of a flash to a small story arc focused on Joshu. It's not really important, it's just a one-off band. What is new knowledge? What's Josuke gonna do? It makes a decision to find that plant for Holly, who has an illness. So eventually, Nosuke decides to help them reluctantly, even though he doesn't want to have his own sons involved with this. He tells them to go to a planet appraiser. So Josuke and Yasuo on the bus. Of course, they also had a bit of a stand battle, where Josuke ends up revealing the planet appraiser. The planet appraiser introduces himself as Ryan Mamazuko, who's also a stand user. His stand is called Doggy Style. He can change his body can turn into become unravel like rats. Kind of like Stone Free ability too, but it's not string like it's more. How do I put it? Like paper, just at least how it's drawn. Well, I do like him too. He's a good character. You know, he's not around that long. After taking care of a different rock human, who seems to be part of a hospital. Also has a rock human pet. So, yeah, Rai decides to help him. Agrees to help him. He knows how to put the branch, so they decide to head back to the Higashikata estate. JoJolian has his own plans, though. Basically, has help a stand user named Poor Tom. Of course, Poor Tom's stand is different. Not like double crossing, but basically some situations happen. Boston's in JoJolian to take care of Poor Tom, but Josuke and Rai. Actually, Poor Tom's to be, but he seems to get away with the branch, but ends up being shot and killed by someone. Seemingly by his comrades who work at the hospital for some reason. Yes, time and they have a time limit to when the rise. So Josuke, and Rai decided to head to the hospital. Yasuo also following behind. Well, Joe secretly hacks the branch. So Trio head to the hospital, and we also introduced to Toru, Yasuo's ex-boyfriend. I don't know why they broke up, but it's interesting. Yasuo also her own bit of a stand battle with Suigi's mother, who has a stand called Wiggling Free Leaves, which is a quite cool stand. Its arrows can force to change directions. Change the force of directions and stuff. It's really useful. And it seems to she didn't even realize she nearly took her life. She decided to go with Quick Exchange. All complicated reasons. Oh, not really complicated, but all bunch of reasons. She accidentally seemingly took the life of an infant, so of an unborn child. But she willingly took the Quick Exchange to save its life, even though it cost her nose. But she didn't care. Which really appreciates this character. She's not a bad person. Anyway, working with Josuke, right? They're not coming across that head doctor. Alright, the stab out was against Wu Tomoki. He's defeated. The last one, the director of the hospital, seemingly being the one behind all this. So we chase him with someone keeps interfering, some type of calamity. And eventually picking up his stand's ability. So they end up splitting up as Yasuo heads back to the Higashikata estate. Trying to get help. Some of them are doing, and eventually Nosuke discovers what's going on. And is taken out. Seemingly killed. And Yasuo was on the verge of nearly dying because of what was going on. The phone with her standing there being chucked in the and some toilets and stuff, causing her body damage and stuff. Well, just getting right, ends up chasing a stand outside the hospital. We're also getting framed for a whole murder and stuff. Well, we keep seeing the character Toru keeps appearing. It's weird. So yeah, eventually they head to the hospital that actually is the stand. And we actually find out who its user is. Toru himself, who's a rock human. And he seems like sensitive to Calamity. All thing getting arrested and stuff. Josuke must be going away with Holly. Josuke decides to make Stan come to him. Right when she comes in too, we reveal that his father died without trying to take down a bug, which really could be a Rockman bug. They see that too. Joe was responsible for his father's death. Let's see. Riley ends up getting killed. Like Josuke's attack, so he got attacked by accident. But he knows Josuke still has potential because its builds has two abilities mixed in together. So, yeah. Josuke has to find a way to beat one of you. So Yasuo, on the own clear exchange thanks to Joshu, gets Kay help to help, who's also at the hospital visiting her mother. So Stan helps Josuke out, but in the process is killed. That she gets out of jail on her and she gets died like that. I feel more sad for Rai's death because we had to spend a little more time with him, but I don't feel that much for Kay. I'm sorry. She hasn't done much. She just hasn't done much since then. She hasn't even talked to Josuke and the others about this at all. Like, I would like to see her be more interact with more Josuke and the others a bit. You know, just basically interact with them, discover what they learned. You know, be active in the story. It's the same problem I have with Shigechi, kind of. Shigechi was introduced after Shigechi's introduction arc. He's killed off in the very next arc. That is not a joke. While the anime switched around a bit. Sorry. It switched around a bit. Come after Ai's introduction, so she's added in the scene with his death. I think. So I have my problems with his death, which I talk more about when I review part 4. But yeah, I don't feel that much for Kay, even though she's been around much longer. She's barely had a presence since the bonus way arc. I don't mean hit by the stand vitamin C, which was the lot. She hasn't really done much. No interactions with the others, which is really a shame. I like to see her interact with both Josuke and Yasuo. You know, share information she knows. So yeah. Also, I forgot to mention before this hospital story, seeing that Nosuke's wife got to prison. Yeah, she was in prison for murdering a child. But eventually found out that was actually, she technically did kill him, but not let him to die. Because, well, Jobin was being bullied as a kid and unwillingly uses Stan's power by accident. And Kato took the blame. Kato Higashikata. She's also a Stan user, obviously. And he hangs out with Yasuo. Josuke is given a new ability that somehow comes from his birthmark, the Joestar bloodline. He managed to weaken Toru. And he's defeated by Kato, using the equivalent exchange with Tsurugi. More clever thing she's done. And so Stan's ability. But of course, that doesn't stop his stand. Like Josuke, comes back in to save the day. Seems like everyone's over. Nosuke is still alive, by the way. Jobin didn't go hard on him. Then we suddenly get a 2-chapter flashback to 1940s Japan memorial. As see a more older Lucy Steele in the 60s now, visiting Japan. She has some business there. She ends up getting help from a young man named Fumi. Eventually, come across some type of stand attack. I think. Seems and Fumi revealed to have the Joestar birthmark. And sometimes stands him with the Hermit Purple. And he also his name is actually Joseph Joestar, Johnny Joestar's grandson. Well, this Joseph, we don't. This Joseph is, seems that Joseph is a bit different. I actually want to see more of this character being fleshed out. He eventually moved to America. Basically, he eventually took Holly back to America. Not Holly. He took Lucy back to America, where because of the war, he ended up being stuck there and became a U.S. citizen. Eventually met his wife, Susie Q, and they got married. And the Joestar bloodline continued. Lucy Steele also died 2 years later due to an illness. The only survivor of the events of Part 7 has passed. I'm sure Johnny would have lived a little longer than her. So if Johnny wasn't killed, he would probably still be alive in 1940s America. Yeah, man. Rest in peace, Johnny Joestar. But yeah, after that weird scenes, Toro was there from the start. We also get information on Block Humans a little bit earlier, which I'm not going to go over because you could just read it yourself to go over it. Yeah, no one's going to know me out of the hospital, so the inside celebrate. Josuke is going to try his best to keep finding more fruits. There's a whole thing with Joseph and picking his mother abandoned him, but seems his mother was searching for him. He just didn't know it, which is kind of sad. So yeah, basically the story ends on a happy note, but they lost Kei Nijimura, and JoJolian is also dead. Due to the whole calamity, and he ended up getting killed, which I actually forgot about. So, I do feel sorry for JoJolian. He wasn't an ally, but he wasn't a bad guy either. He was just doing this for his son, and he ended up dying. He ended up being killed because of that power, because of what Stan's power, which is called Wonder of You. It's named after Elvis Presley's song because, literally, this is doing Elvis Presley song doing not too long after the reveal. So it kind of makes me sad. So it makes me curious how many when we might be getting an English release of volume of JoJolian. My guess is around 2026 or 2027. If judging by how things will go. Overall, JoJolian is definitely a good part. I ended on a sort of happy note. But what now? Josuke especially become part of the Hojigashikata family, I guess. Just in cases there. So, yeah, that ends part 8. Now, for part 9, I do not know. Nobody's not much knows about Josuke in part 9. Like, what happened to him after 2011? Guess I'll find out. I guess we'll have to keep reading part 9 to find out. Which I'll be start reading hopefully soon. Alongside Bow the Visitor. So, I guess watching my content, please thumbs up and want to see more subscribe channel, look about deep reviews future. And I promise to do a reread on part 8 as soon if it comes on the Shonen Jump app in the future, as soon as it starts getting translated. So if that happens, till then, I'll see you guys next time. Kaiser jump out.